Welcome back to another episode of The Natty Teacher. I am the Natty Teacher. Of course. It is an early one. Well, not really that early, I guess, but for a Sunday, a relatively early workout. 8:40 in the morning. We're a meal deep already. With the intro here, we'll be about 2 liters of water deep. Feeling good, and I'll tell you guys, we got a little bit of a twist. I have done this before, I believe. Maybe? I don't know. You know what? I actually may not have ever done one of these weeks before in my YouTube journey so far. I have a deload week this week. So a deload week, if you are unfamiliar, I schedule mine, okay? And I'll explain that in a second, so this is going to be a little bit of a longer intro, so bear with me here. A deload week is essentially where you drop the weight. Could be 20%, could be 50%. It depends on you and what you feel like you need in that moment. It differs, and it differs between how bodybuilders would deload. It differs between, there's a difference between that and like how power lifters deload and what have you. You could still do your top sets even the same and just do half the reps. You know what I mean? There's a variety of different ways to deload. So let me explain how I kind of structure mine. So for me, it's easy to structure because what I will generally do is whatever my top set of a particular exercise is, whether I'm doing a set of 6 or a set of 10 or a set of 15 or whatever it is, I will drop the weight generally about 20%, and I don't do anything this week above 10 to 12 reps, okay? Usually closer to 10. Pretty much everything is just straight sets of 10, nice and easy. Approach my workouts exactly the same, and also on top of that, I usually will drop a set or 2 off of each body part. Okay, so for triceps, let's say for today, usually I would do 2 exercises, 3 sets apiece, okay? Or at least 2 and then 3, so a total of at least 5 to 6 working sets. Today, we're doing 4 working sets at a weight that's already 20% lighter than what we normally would be doing for our top sets, okay? So a lot of the weight that we'll use for these, for our top sets today, for our working sets, is going to be the weight that I would usually use for like a back off set, for example. So like when I talk about like working sets and back off sets in my voiceovers, that usually means I'll have one weight I'll do, let's say for a set of 10 or 12 or whatever, and then I'll do a back off set, which is where I'll drop the weight 20% off that top set and then just rep it out for as many as I can. Could be another set of 12, could be a set of 15, could be a set of 23, whatever it is, depending on the exercise, 20% can make a huge difference. So anyways, so that's how I structure my deloads. So again, you will see, pretty much all the same exercises. This is also the week where if I do want to bring in a new exercise for like my next heavy training cycle, I will experiment with it now. So feel it with, a little bit of a lighter weight, connect with it. If I like it, I'll keep it and then use it, of course, like next week when we get back into our heavy training and our next training cycle. Or if I don't like it, I did it on a deload. It's no big deal. And we'll go back to whatever we were doing before, okay? So you might see a few new exercises in there or newer exercises compared to what I've been doing the past, 6 weeks, but nothing super crazy at all, okay? Also, during this week, okay, and this is where it's a little bit different and, not anything super, I think it makes sense, put it that way. As I'm, stuttering over my words and saying, about 10 times. For leg day, in particular quad day, no barbell back squats. Barbell squats I have found to be the king of leg exercises. I never was a good squatter, and I'm actually getting to the point where I'm like a decent squatter now. And we'll, again, very, very much so focusing on the decent part. Okay, still can be way better. But during a deload, I'm not really overly concerned about loading a bunch of weight on my spine. During this week, this is where I want to take a step back, allow the body to heal. Like my lower back, for example, takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of damage throughout the week. So this will be a week to where I can give that a break. Not doing really anything reloading the spine. Probably will not do a lot of like hip hinged movements other than maybe some like rowing, some like barbell or Smith machine row. So probably no RDLs on my, during my hamstring and glute workout on Friday. So just to give you guys a heads up for the week, there are a few types of exercises that I will intentionally eliminate and bring back in after my deload, but pause during my deload because I don't want to do anything that's going to potentially hinder my absolute recovery. Because the whole point of a deload week, folks, is to recover. That is the whole point. You want to use this week to let your body reset, let that central nervous system kind of become unfried, and allow your body to have that deep, fresh air. I like to think of it like this, all right? Think about you're driving down the highway, okay? When you're driving your car down the highway, when you're in your heavy training weeks, let's say like for me, it's a 6-week training cycle before I deload, so every 7th week is when I deload. For those 6 weeks, I got my foot on the gas. I got my foot on the gas, and I'm in the left lane on the highway going 80 and a 70. Probably not gonna get pulled over, okay? Because it's not, crazy fast. Not like I'm going 110, but I'm going 80 and the 70. I'm speeding a little bit. I'm pushing my body to the limits. But then on a deload, I'm taking my foot off the gas, okay? I'm still driving. I'm still going forward, but I'm taking my foot off the gas. I'm taking a deep breath. I'm relaxing a little bit, okay? And I'm taking that car from the left lane, and we're putting it in the right lane and just going cruise control. That's how I like to think about it. Now, I pulled into the gym. First exercise on the docket today is some pec deck. You're going to see that coming up right about now. All right, as promised, pec deck. Now, again, guys, remember with a deload here, if anything, you're going to see that tempo and control is arguably even better, but we're going to carry this over into my next workout, next week's workout for this type of tempo. This felt great, man. Didn't feel like I was rolling the shoulders forward at all. Felt a ton of chest recruitment. Really was, forcing my back into that pad, driving the back into the pad, and just keeping my arms as straight as possible, keeping my elbows in a slightly neutral position, and just trying to picture driving those elbows together, essentially. I actually bring it to the point where I do bring my hands like touching at this point. I've been kind of playing with that, and I actually really like it. So either way works. You can, do it where your hands touch or where they're close but maybe don't touch. Obviously, we are not training anywhere near failure here. This is, roughly at least 20% less than my normal weight. We did 2 working sets of 10 reps. Then this is a nice incline plate loaded press here. Again, you'll see that I'm coming down nice and controlled, sitting in that stretch position, and then coming up hard out of the hole. This was 3 plates of 10 and a 5 on there. So again, this would be like a third set for me. I would do 2 top sets about 20% heavier than this, and then use this as like a third back off set and try to really rep this out for around that 15 rep range. So we just did 2 sets of 10 here, nice and easy, sat in the hole extra long, went nice and did a nice full range of motion all the way up, got a really good squeeze at the top. Again, 2 working sets here, 10 reps. That's all we needed to get some good stimulus on this deload week, and we moved on to a flat machine press. You guys already know, a little bit of a different angle here. You can kind of see it from a different spot. Usually I do this one, I put the camera up next to me here, so this is a little bit below, a little bit different. So again, kind of keeping those hands, just about a little obviously a little outside shoulder width there, decent amount outside shoulder width, and we're sitting in that stretch position right here. Okay, and then really just driving out hard, but we're not trying to yank it out of the hole. I see too many people, they call it being explosive, and that's great. But some people, they really come out of the hole extra hard, and you still want to come out of the hole pretty smooth. You know what I mean? When you're in that stretch position and you're going to push the weight out, you still want to come out smooth. So we did 2 sets here, 10 reps apiece on each of these sets. Again, really just focus on getting a nice pump and then moving on. Okay, so we moved on here to a neutral grip machine shoulder press. You can kind of see here that I have those elbows just slightly pushed out here. We're really trying to bias those front delts with a little bit of upper chest recruitment, of course, no doubt about it, but mainly front delt work here. So again, coming up, nice and smooth out of the bottom, sitting in that fully lengthened position at the top for a brief moment, and then really controlling that eccentric on the way down and sitting at the bottom of that movement as my daughter's excited about something upstairs with the wife. But again, really getting that good stretch on the way down, sitting in the hole, and then coming up hard, but not so hard where we're like jerking the weight up, and not controlling it. So again, this was 2 sets of 10 reps there. And then again, you'll see the kind of consistent theme here, 2 sets of 10 reps here as well on some machine side laterals, one of my favorite side lateral variations. I feel like I say that every week, but it still remains the same. So again, we're just trying to bring the handles out, or excuse me, bring those pads out. Really make sure that we're getting a nice full range of motion. So make sure your seat setup is correct. We're driving my face and my chest into that back pad, so we're not letting that come off. Okay, so we are really isolating those side delts. You can only come, out. That's it. You can only really just go out, if you do this correctly and you keep your head and chest on that back pad. Again, so really nice, control here, good tempo, and again, 2 sets of 10 reps. I think this was actually 11 I did on my second set, but that's okay. So again, feel the burn, but not so much of a burn to where you're really tearing down those muscle fibers on this deload week. Just nice and smooth. Then some tricep rope extensions, good old school exercise here. Again, keeping those elbows, pretty tight to the side here. I was kind of played with both variations last week, where it was like one, I kept my elbows out in front of the body, and then another variation, I kind of kept it, closer to the body. And I found, for me at least, and this is where it's always good to play with exercises, because you got to find what works for you. I found that keeping my elbows on this exercise a little bit more stationary, a little bit more stuck to the side of my body, not like tucked in, but more just like parallel with the side of my body, felt really good. Sit in that fully lengthened position at the bottom. So in this portion right here, really flex those triceps hard and then control that weight on the way up. We did 2 sets of 12 there, and then 2 sets of 12 of some one arm overhead cable extensions here. Again, really trying to bring that handle down well behind the head here and stretch that tricep out as much as possible. My recommendation, and I can't even take credit for this, I got it from Kuba Chelin, and I've been implementing this into my training as well. Go subscribe to him. He's got a phenomenal channel. I think it's Kuba, his first name Kuba, and then Cielen is Chelin. Phenomenal advice. I do 1 push down and 1 overhead extension for triceps every single push day, and I love it. It feels great. Okay, so again, we did 2 sets per hand, of course, 12 reps of this particular exercise, and kind of is a little bit of a difference. I never really do this anymore, but I wanted to today. I actually did record an ab variation. So what I did here is I recorded one of my new-ish, I've done it for a little while now, but finally feel like I actually perfected it, ab crunch variations here. So this is just your basic chest supported ab crunch machine. I should have shown my feet here, because what I have here at the bottom is I put 2 25-pound plates on the floor in front of my toes and kind of angle my toes up against them, because this one has like a bar that balances your feet. You got to like tuck your feet in below a bar, but your feet still kind of float around a little bit, and you really have to brace extra hard. So what this does is this allows me to really isolate the core, really focus on just crunching that weight down here. Again, I don't want to go crazy. Abs are still a muscle, so we're still going to give them a little bit of a break here on my deload. So we did just 2 sets of 10 of some weighted crunches, nice easy weight, and probably a little over 20% less than I normally would. And then we did 2 body weight sets of some decline crunches, just also again 10 reps there, just nice and controlled. All right, deload push a workout in the books. Gotta love it, man. Nice and easy. Got in the gym, got a nice pump, stimulated, definitely did not annihilate, and it felt great. Now, I'll tell you what, I am super stoked that I decided to take my deload, which again, it was a scheduled deload anyways, because I do 6-week training blocks, so 6 weeks hard, pretty much all the same exercises, trying to progressively overload them, then back off for a week, another 6 weeks hard, back off for a week, and then I'll kind of flip-flop some exercises around, and run that for, 2 6-week training blocks, and then kind of rinse, repeat kind of thing, and just kind of really stick to the, exercises that I really like. So anyways, it felt great. Again, accomplished exactly what I wanted to accomplish today. Got a nice little sweat, but definitely am not soaked like I usually am. And just did what I needed to do. And I'll tell you what, I'm really glad I decided to take that deload, because my right shoulder, I could tell for a little while here, I have some shoulder impingement in that right shoulder. So I've been trying to just kind of push through it. And I'll tell you, I definitely, I felt it today, put it that way. So it'll be nice to, have my foot off the gas this week, and really focusing on just, form and control and all that, which I always do anyways, but even more so in just getting a nice little pump and then getting out. So if anything, that should help actively recover that. I don't like just taking weeks off. Like I said, I usually take 2 total weeks off throughout the entire year, because I deload every 7th week or so. taking a full week off just isn't my thing, very often. I really don't like to do that when I don't have to. So, yeah, so I'll just kind of actively heal this shoulder up and go from there. But everything felt great. I actually recorded a little bit of the abs. I usually say like calves and abs not recorded. On my deload, I actually will only train calves this week on my leg days. So Tuesday and Friday is when I'll train calves. Usually I train calves every day. So this week I like to kind of just let them breathe a little bit, give them a little bit of a rest. We're not going to stimulate them every single day. And, like I said, we'll just dial that back to twice this week and go from there. So tomorrow, join me for an early morning deloaded pull session. It is our horizontal pull session, so we'll have a plethora of different rowing exercises and what have you, including a new one that I've heard of this one and seen it performed many a times before. It's a little bit of an interesting one, but I've never done it myself, so I'm very, very excited to give it a whirl tomorrow and see how it feels. So we'll see how that works, man. So make sure you tune in tomorrow morning. Like and share the video if you don't mind. Keep dropping those comments below, guys. I really, really appreciate all the positive feedback that I've gotten from you guys and ideas and all that kind of stuff. And I've been trying to implement as many of those into my videos as I possibly can. So please continue to drop that feedback below, or any and all comments that you got, leave them below. I will respond to them. And or questions you have, same thing. And yeah, make sure you subscribe if you have not already. Again, I say this every time, you don't have to. If this is your first time watching one of my videos and you just didn't like it, hey man, I'll see you later maybe. You know what I mean? Don't worry about it. But if you're digging it and you have yet to subscribe, hey, hit that subscribe button, man. If you want. But enjoy the rest of this beautiful Sunday, or whatever day it is or time it is, wherever y'all are at in the world. But for today, I'm the Natty Teacher. It is my birthday today, so my wife and I are we're gonna go over to my parents' house and enjoy the sun and take a swim in their pool and all that kind of stuff and have fun with my daughter and stuff like that there. So we're gonna go enjoy the day. 29 years old, man. Both 29 years old. Can't believe it. Hey, I'm still in my 20s. I still got another year in my 20s. That's how I like to look at it. So big things for 29 years old, I'll tell you that. And some of which I have talked about as far as my bodybuilding journey and this off season, how excited I am for that. And some things I actually have not talked about, purely because, I'm just trying to keep things as close to the chest, keep my cards close to the chest, so there are some things in the works, so to speak, that I have yet to talk about. So anyways, tune in for tomorrow's video. But for today, again, enjoy the rest of your day, y'all. God bless. I am the Natty Teacher. And this episode of Summer School, only a few more weeks of Summer School before we start our new series, is out. I will catch y'all on the flippity-a-flop.